I had a very short comment exchange on one of my videos yesterday with a user called esaman, or maybe esaman, or esaman, something like that anyway. If you're watching this video, esaman, I wish you'd make a video rather than, no offence meant, but I don't want to get into long comment exchanges, and you obviously have some either questions or critiques to make of some of my videos, but I can't really get to the substance of that, as I say, without exploring it in detail. And I don't want to get into comment exchanges, because for me YouTube is an experience of an oral medium, and that's what I'm, an oral and a visual medium, not a written medium, and that's what I'm interested in doing, not getting into long, as I say, typey things. So yeah, if you want, I'd really appreciate it if you wanted to engage with me. Try and do it through video, please, if you wouldn't mind. But the point we were making was good, and it was to do with something I've said a couple of times in my videos, which, you know, some other people are saying are ridiculous oversimplifications, and they probably are. And it's to do with this relationship of suffering and badness. And what I've been saying is that to say suffering is bad is, I don't know what it is, it's kind of, I don't want to say it pointless, because obviously it's not pointless, but it's obvious. I don't just mean obvious because everybody knows suffering is bad. What I mean by that is that suffering is meaningless, or a word like bad, is meaningless, unless we have experiences like suffering. I mean, there's other experiences as well which give badness its meaning, but, you know, suffering is an embodied experience. It is something that that's hundreds of thousands of years of creatures with central nervous systems, the activation patterns in the brain that correspond to those, you know, the hardwired, deeply engraved formations in our central nervous system, our sensory motor system, our somatosensory system, in our bodies, and the way our senses work in relation to the world. All that kind of stuff is deeply engraved with experiences that are negative, which, you know, might broadly be called suffering, but could also be, you know, fear-inducing, or could be toxic, or could induce feelings of disgust, you know, whatever the negativity is, which I'm kind of generalizing out as suffering. If we didn't have those, obviously, I mean, a word like bad would be meaningless. You know, bad is defined by I think, by primarily those fully embodied experiences. And when we use bad, or indeed good, to talk about things which aren't bodied, we're using an embodied metaphor. And here, of course, I'm drawing on embodied cognition, George Lakoff, Mark Johnson, all that raft of folk. You know, you don't need to know these people, but it doesn't really matter in a sense. But either way, I'm drawing on embodied cognition, this idea that the brain and the logic of the way that meaning forms itself in the brain and is used in things like language emerges ultimately from the body. And as I say, and its abilities for perception, and the links between those perceptual abilities and the positive and negative experiences we might call pain and pleasure, or suffering and flourishing, or whatever we want to call those things. So a term like bad is meaningless, I think, other than that, or ultimately, because unless it emerges from bodily states which give meaning to that word. And as I say, things like suffering and pain are those states. So when we do use it, God, long circuitous sentence. So when we do use it to talk about things which are not directly of the body, like a piece of music, let's say this piece of music is really bad, this piece of music is really good, this piece of behaviour is really good, this political system is good, we don't, you know, we're using it metaphorically. It doesn't feel like a metaphor, it feels like an evaluation, and it is an evaluation, but it's an evaluation which is based on a metaphor that associates certain abstract ideas with the like the quality of music, which is an abstract idea, some abstract ideas with fully embodied states. So it's a kind of, as I say, I think I used the term second order in my comment there, which was a little bit confusing for me as well as anybody else, I'm sure. But what I mean there is that bodies are providing the ground of metaphors, the source for those metaphors, and the target for those are second order concepts, or abstract concepts like quality of music, the functional capacity of certain activities, the use value of certain activities. I think the particular example you were using there, esaman, was pain being good. And pain is good, I think, if I understood you correctly. Pain or suffering is good because that's the body telling you to not do that thing, you know. You know, you put your hand on a hot plate, you feel pain, and that's a good thing because that's telling your body to move the bloody hand away before all your fingers fry off. So it's good. But in a sense, it's only good because it's bad, and it's only when you only say it's good because we do this second order evaluation. We say we are comparing, we are drawing for a metaphor upon good experiences, on pleasures, on flourishing experiences, on the various sublime experiences that life brings with it occasionally. We're drawing on those kind of, again, fully embodied experiences to say, to be able to express the quality of an action, even though the substance of that action is pain. Pain is not good. The effects, the function that pain serves might be good according to some criteria. Pain is bad. It's only when you use it as a metaphor. It's only when we use goodness and badness as metaphors that it makes sense to say that pain is good. Hope that makes sense.